Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. Just another vlog today, just doing the usual stuff, looking at the code. I actually had a bit time in the meantime yesterday, mainly doing some further work, which I'm kind of happy about. So I'm still working on the dialogue. Today I actually looked back at the NPC, so I'm actually trying to see in which context I was planning to use the dialogue. And maybe as a quick starter, let's revisit this NPC struct or class and the idea behind it. One second. Okay. Alright, sorry about this. Alright. Send me companion. So the big idea here is that of course in the MUD what I started with was players. So players already there, they can walk around rooms and they can interact. Well, basically they can chat and do some commands. And now of course a really big part is actually getting NPCs in. The plan is actually to not differentiate between an NPC in general, like an enemy or friend, or even someone who's selling items, like a merchant. That's the main idea, that any NPC can actually be a merchant, could also be an enemy merchant, something like that. That's the rough idea. That you basically just have an NPC and the NPC has traits attached, so they could be empty or they could not be empty. So it's kind of a it's kind of this component or object-based system where you apply or add another component to something else and then it gets this behavior. So that's the main idea. And this is where I normally use the struct inheritance. Struct inheritance, as you can see, is already every NPC is an entity. I think, to be honest, the entity is something I haven't looked in for quite a while. In general, it's just an object I'm tracking using an ID, and it can be stored in the MongoDB database. To be honest, I'm also not sure if that's maybe way too hard to connect to the MongoDB, which is fine for now. This still has a very, very early prototype playing around stage. In general, of course, you should abstract the database array that your code could move from one database to another. Ideally also the data, but as this is a very small side project, a hobby project, I don't really care too much about it. If I'm stuck with a certain database, I'm also, to be honest, actually stuck on a specific version, if I'm correct. We look at Docker file. No, sorry, Docker Compose. It's actually MongoDB 4.2.6, and it's probably an old version. I'm using this version in particular because I think the newer one doesn't run the code, so I haven't had time yet to check out in detail what was the issue, so I reverted to an old version, which is fine. And as long as this is available, I think I can stick to it. I don't really think I need newer MongoDB features, so should be okay. Alright, just checking this out. Hello there. Okay, so that works. There are no users. Oh, there are users. Ready and some. Interesting. Okay, so some folks seem to have looked into the chat, looked at the stream. Alright, let's continue. So of course it's actually a good point. I should add to the stream information that this is like programming and Golang. Anyway, let's get back to the NPC. So the NPC, as I mentioned, should have in general some kind of traits. I actually use the same traits as I already do on the characters. So characters are player-based. Yeah, so similar to non-player characters, I have characters, and characters have the same traits. So they're an entity. They belong to a certain user and they have a current room. So actually the trait belongs to user should be optionally, so probably should have that be able to to be nil instead of something. Let's see. And the current room is also the question if an NPC always has to be in a room or not. So that's still a tricky thing. Also, in particular, if, for example, then a character or an NPC could be in multiple rooms. Because for dialogues or fights, I might want to spawn dynamic rooms. So either I need to differentiate between a normal room where people walk around in a mud, or I introduce something new just for the case of running dialogues or fights and so on in an instance. If you think about the WoW dungeons, they are instance, right? So something like that. Of course, an NPC has a name, a description, very basic race and class. Probably should add like some kind of metadata information, like a height, maybe a skin color, stuff like that. So I'm not sure, but it's a very detailed thing. So, but could be used then to like add a new command, like describe an NPC, and then you get like a very brief description or a very detailed description on the NPC itself. That would be an idea. Anyway, I do have the enemy trait here. So the enemy trait was, of course, is an optional one, and if it's there, it acts as an enemy to players, to characters. That's the main idea. So if I go to an enemy trait, I just have an enemy type for now. It probably has more to it, like what it does as an enemy, if it maybe attacks people, if it, I don't know, if it plots against people and stuff. And the big thing that I was actually working on is the dialogue trait. And this is where I actually went from, I'm still, as you can see here, I'm still on the NPC branch on Git. So this is where I then started going from NPCs to actually working on dialogue and the dialogue system. So the dialogue trait most likely actually needs a dialogue then in the end to start with. And it should be somewhere embedded to the NPC, most likely. I don't know if you want to. So from a perspective how I tackled the database, I tried to actually connect or combine a lot of data together. So for example, character contains, like, it's kind of self-contained. I'm not doing a lot of lookups to other tables, but that at the same time means there's a lot of redundancy, which I think for MUD or general for an MMO is tricky. I still felt that this is like a very easy approach to a database system, so I'm not entirely sure yet about the downsides. I think I actually had a lot of bugs already where characters have been stuck in multiple rooms. So even though I actually left the room, I was still in the old room. Of course, that's a very bad thing. So I'm not yet sure, not yet happy about it. How or where, what should be tracked. Anyway, go back to the dialogue. I think that's actually something I could briefly show. I did something earlier and I actually need to finish this briefly before we can then maybe look at getting the dialogue into the NPC. But then still, there are no NPCs yet in the game. That might be the first thing I want to do. So I probably finish the dialogue in the sandbox environment. Then I'm working on the NPCs. And then I'm trying to add the dialogue trait to the NPC. And then I guess as the last step, I somehow need to interact with the NPC. So then there might be then certain commands attached to a trait. I don't know, for example, there's a dialogue trait. Dialogue trait has a command like talk to XYZ. And if I command invoke XYZ, I'm actually invoking like the dialogue trait object or component. I don't know, I like go into the subsystem. So that's a rough idea. I have no idea yet about the details, how to implement it, but that's normal. Just swing it from this position. So let's actually look at something I did earlier. Is dialog visited in the dialog state. This is not a bool anymore. It's not it. Yeah, I'm also not sure why I have this here? Good question. I could make this a bit easier. I'm not sure if I have to. Current dialog ID. So do I have an option already? No, I don't. So I should, by the way, I should maybe warn you, I currently have GitHub Copilot. I think it's still in a, like a non-paid version until a certain point, and then I actually bought it as well, or at least I'm subscribed to it. So to be fair, and I don't know if it's the right place and time to say it, I don't feel like paying $10 a month for GitHub Copilot. It's a really good tool, to be honest. It's really nice. And if I would be like full-time coding at work, I do think, or I don't know, if my money would be like full-time programming right now, I still feel that this is very powerful and could be easily worth the $10. So that's a problem. But I just have it for side projects and to use it from time to time. And there, the $10 it's a bit too much, to be honest, from my perspective. I feel like $5 would be the right approach. Maybe like $5 for the GitHub Pro account and $5 for Copilot, and $10 overall. That would be fine if I do like a lot of coding on GitHub using VS Code and so on. I think that would be a good approach. But just 10 for the, it's tricky, so I'm not sure. If I would really earn money doing full-time coding again, I think that $10 might actually be really worth it. And if I could have like even an option to use it at work, I think it might make me a much stronger programmer overall. You just write a piece of very good comment and it generates a lot of boilerplate code without any templating. It just gets you the code, which is fantastic, to be honest. Anyway, let's actually go in and create a new font. So dialogs. Oh, it's already there. It's already there. The question is, I don't have the option to have both, right? Dialog state. Yeah, I don't know, it feels a bit nicer than actually doing something like, I mean, I could do the same like this, state, debug new dialog state, do it like this, and go state, current dialog IDs, intro, state prompt, context, yeah, something like this. I'm not sure if that looks better than this one, but that set up dialog state. Yeah, I'm not sure. Could be, could not be. But to be honest, I like that I don't have to initialize the dialog visited myself and don't have more boilerplate. It's tricky. I would like to have a proper builder pattern, to be honest, for this one. Yeah, anyway, let's remove it from here. Let's go back. So what I've been working on is actually, what's happening? Oh, why is this not working? Okay, it's already, okay, I got it. Anyway, so the fun stuff is what I did is actually I changed dialog visited to an int, which means dialog visited stores if a dialog has been seen at least once. How many times a dialog? Basically, that's it. It's just how often have I seen it. And the fun stuff is that in the combination, I have now alternate text and text. So if alternate texts are set and order texts are set as well, I'm going actually through like first time, second time, third time, and so on. So going through it in ordered state. That's the fun stuff, is actually getting a function for this. Func options. It's like this. So it should also be func dialog. The text string. Oh, damn it. Oh, I'm still so much in my macOS. This is not the right approach, because it should just be random get random text from either d.text or d.text. That's not the right approach. So actually this is fine. So it's run text ID one if the alternate oh, come on, not again. I'm so fucked with the macros. Thanks. just doing too little go. Oh, sorry. I think I actually forgot totally to talk. So, Golang assert add assertions package. Justify assert. Okay. Assert equal assert equal assert dot not empty. Okay, that's good. So assert dot not empty, not nil. What? T object interface. Good, that's it. So, and then return. Oh wow, that's how the fuck GitHub Copilot is just sucked. So they know I have to subtract 1 from our text ID. That's it. And yeah, it's just like this. I don't know if you make less errors. Maybe you rely too much on keep Copilot at one point. But it's kind of fun. I jump into like Golang just from time to time, or some other languages. Just too little practice right now. I think that's the main problem. If you're not doing development on a regular basis, you're losing skill. You're losing just efficiency. It's not like I wouldn't be able to read the code or understand it, but just writing it, that's the main problem. It's like if it's there, I fully understand and I can easily also suggest improvements. But if I just have to rip it up from scratch, yeah, it's different. So now I actually have to get text, and that's the interesting part. Now I have an alternative that the character can say, or NPC can say, if they talk to me. So it's not yet taking the dialog visited into account. But anyway, I'm doing like the I don't know if that works. I hope. I'm not sure if this is 0, if it's the first time in. What I could do, of course, is if oh, look at that. And then I wanna actually say key, no, 0. Oh no, if it's not, okay. It's like not in there. Okay. So I want to initialize it with 0. Initialize the implicit definition. Okay, sometimes some stuff doesn't really work out, but still. Yeah, okay, if not initialize, that's fine. Anyway, it still goes into 1 initially, so you have 1 tracked in. So you can now actually make use of like the count of dialog visited. And ideally that should actually be, the question is, what happens if it's like too many times? I don't know if that's really couldn't be really the case, but it could be. Alright, anyway, let's actually check it out. Let's see if that works. Oh, I don't have an alternate text yet, but I just want to check if command select sandbox. Oh, is it even in here? Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Clear. So this is good. So it's just so you kind of make this bigger. Guess it makes the whole IDE bigger. Yeah, okay, let's keep it at that state. So I'm talking to Old Town Guard. Hello stranger, are you visiting Old Town for the first time? Yes, I go by the name of Hercules. And you can only see this if you ask me where to find them. This is bad, so that means there's already a bug in there. And I guess I know where. So it doesn't check for higher than 0 at some point. Anyway, the cool stuff is, so that already works. Let's fix this bug, and as well, let's add the text instead of the just a dot text. How do I do that? Can I make it read only? Well, I could during initialization, but then again, it's not as useful. So I probably need to do that in multiple places, which is also not nice still. So if the available options are there, that's not in here. So we do have the text here, and I put get text in here, which is good, which is fine. So it's there and there. I think it's not too many places, to be honest, where I'm actually using the text. Okay, there it is as well. Get ID of option of user selected item and pass into. Oh wow. Okay, that's actually tricky, to be honest. Should I allow it for an answer or for an option? Well, it doesn't harm, but at the same time, it most likely is not as useful. I'm not sure. Let's put it there and let's try it actually out. But yeah, because it means that, for example, the options could actually change on random or by random, depending on. It could be nice, so an option actually changes if I talk to the same. If I go through the dialogue the third time, the fourth time, maybe I'm just seeing like different types. This is fine. Let's see. Alright, so that's one step, and then the second step is actually, that was the one step, and then the second step was the check for not legal. So looking at the get available options function, we have here this requires visited dialogues. If val, okay, val equals 0, reference matched is false. The question is if this actually works. Because the first time I'm starting a dialogue, this should not be the case. Oh, I have to. Oh wow. I actually might run into big problems if I use alternative text on options. Damn it. Let's look at a quick. Let's have a look at the YAML. The issue is at least I don't have an easy way to actually get the ID. So it would be possible, but I guess I actually need to find if the selection has been happened, so if that actually was selected, I need to find which options it used. Yeah, it's tricky. To be honest, it's really tricky. I'll add it to do first, and then let's see. To do add alternative. Alright, just checking the time. All good. Oh, actually, I should look at. Okay. Oh, I have one view. Hey. So, let's continue this one. We wanted to check regarding this one. So, we have the hidden option in here. If you look at this dialog here, the hidden is only available if the mayor visited, the dialog has been visited at least once. So the question is if that's actually still the case. In this function here, so I'm checking all required visited dialogues, and well, okay, dialog visited are Actually, if it hasn't been visited, there's no value, and if it has been visited, it should be, so it should never be 0, to be honest, in most cases, so that can't be the true case. So basically I don't need a value here, I just need to check if not okay. So if the dialog ID is not found, the requirements matched is false. And then I break it. So let's hope this one should be better. Let's run the sandbox again. Okay, I'm talking to Alter and guard. And this looks good, nice. So I don't know why, but the other thing did work. Let me briefly tune down the music by a bit. So I think that's nicer. So just checking if everything is still working. So we're gonna find the next Smith. It's like this. Hey, you can find him in the town center on the left side of the road. We're gonna have a drink. There's no answer yet. And where do you find the mayor of Old Town? Not sure. Why do you ask? Oh, I can only see this if you asked me where to find the mayor. So I'm checking this one. Secretly, I'm the mayor. Don't tell anyone. So that's good. Let's go back down. I'm done. Goodbye. So the fun stuff is, of course, it's safe that I visited the dialogue. So if we go back to Old Town Guard. It would be nice actually to see how many times the dialogue has been visited. It's a bit tricky to actually debug this one with the debugger, because this is console output, formatted console output, and that doesn't really work in debug. I actually need to check how that works. I need to find a solution for it. So I'm talking to Alter and guard again, and you can see I still have this option because it stores the context. So the context storing is still working across a run of a dialog. That's good. As you can see here in the main, we're actually storing the dialog. We're not recreating the context or the state during each run. So as long as it's running, we're just reusing the old state. Cat is sleeping. All right. What's next? So we actually need to check out the alternative text if that works. Let's see. Just hack this in here again. So, hello stranger. We're actually doing some alternative texts here. Alternate text, string, and that's it. Hello player, are you visiting? Well, that's not really alternative text, right? Oh, this is actually a good one. Well, for an intro it's bad because the intro dialog is not visited twice. So again, the dialog engine works like there is this main loop. So I have a start before the main. I can actually start anywhere in the dialog and then go to, I don't know, a certain depth in the dialog. And then if I actually restart, I'm starting at the main ID. To be honest, what would be really cool is actually if this could be configurable in array, that I can just say, hey, this is my main dialog. I want to return to this dialog. And this is my exit dialog. So similar to I have this dialog exit. So maybe this main dialog should also be an option. And then I don't really need to care about the main ID here, that it matches the ID. So it could be good. Anyway, I wanted to introduce some alternative text. Let's do this. Like a hey there, new to Old Town, and oh, okay. Suggestions are not always helpful. Welcome. Welcome back. Well, this is not as good, but yeah. Welcome to Old Town. these are good. So these are good alternatives. Oh, wait, what happened? So the idea is that I can either say, hello stranger, are you visiting Old Town for the first time? Hi there, new to Old Town. Welcome to Old Town. So I have 3 options now in the dialog. And I probably should just call it alternate, not alternate text, I don't know. And as mentioned, I think the options a player can choose is something I'm not sure about, the alternate text, so they might be a bit more tricky, but for the answers that might be cool. So I try to do that here as well. String. That's also not a helpful text, so greetings. Player, let me show you how can I help you today. It's a good one. And I might welcome to Old Town. This is good. This is good as well. So actually cool. So again, I have 3 options. It's either welcome to Old Town, let me show you around, how can I help you today? Or greetings, let me show you around, how can I help you today? How can I serve you? Can I serve you? And yeah, I think with that, we're just getting more options overall. And then the interesting part again, the option that the player can select is something we need to see if this should be alternate or not. And okay, maybe we can do this as well. So we can do like head to the town center and then go to left side of the road. We'll reach this from there. Well, it's the same. It's the same sentence I already wrote. This is funny. Anyway, that looks good. I do have some variation in there. Let's just check it out. Let's see if it still runs. That's good. So it should have created dialog now, as you can see here. This is the new dialog file. It still looks fine. I do like the syntax. Okay, it should not have 2 different show alternate text and requires visitor dialog. Should have the same. Snake or camel case. I'm not sure. What should we do? Camel case looks good. Snake case looks also good. I'm not sure. But the cool thing, of course, is that I can now apply alternative text. So, for example, if I'm asking about the Smith, I might get 2 different answers at a point. They should be still consistent, but I can just get in more variations. And to be honest, the more variations such a dialog has, the more life the game is. Alright, let's check this one out. I actually started the dialog already. Let's clear that again. Oh boy. Come on. Let's see. Let's clear this one. And just check out the welcome to Old Town. So you see it's already an alternate text. And of course the options are still the same. And I haven't talked to him yet about the mayor of Old Town. So where can I find the next Smith? You can find next Smith in town center on the left side of the road. Which is okay. Oh, head to the town center and then go to the left side of the road. You will reach the Smith from there. Yeah, that's good. You can see, of course, it's like a 50% chance what it gets, but yeah, you can find the next Smith in the town center on the left side of the road. So it's good. So it's not always the same text, and that's basically the idea behind these alternate texts. I think it should help quite a lot if you talk to someone and it's not always the same answer. So that helps. So again, what else did we do? So going and restarting the Old Town one. So I have here 3 texts and here 3 texts. Let's see. Okay, it skips, of course, the intro. So that's a bit strange. I don't know if for an intro I would have to alter the text, but could be. I'm not sure. But then again, you would never reach the intros as well. But this one is welcome to Old Town Headquarters. Okay, so let's just say what. Let's see. Talking again to it. Here it hits this one. Greetings, Hercules. Let me show you around. How can I serve you? So you see, it's just another. You talk to the same NPC and just starts the conversation with something different. And again, I'm not entirely sure about the options here because right now I need to. Well, that should be changed most likely when I implement it in the MUD itself, not in the sandbox. I probably use the right ID. So right now I can only use the texts. But it's actually a good point. Maybe I can find out because I do hate the option. And I would love to see alternate text here as well. Well, again, I'm not sure how much use this is, but how good of a use this is to have alternate text for options. I think for answers it's very cool, and for greetings. So basically, if something starts a conversation, either being the main loop or some intros, maybe visit some dialogues. Another good sandbox is actually a second dialogue, and I will also do this before actually working on the NPCs again. So most likely I will not work a lot on NPCs today. I want to use the dialogues as well for NPC conversations. So basically, I don't know if they should talk between themselves, between each other, or if they, I don't know, have a few words they just run, right? Maybe they have like, that's actually a good point to add here as well. It's like something that is automatically set by the one. So you don't have to go in an interactive mode. So if I execute a dialogue here, this is like an interaction mode between a player and an NPC. But an NPC could also have a non-interactive dialogue. So it's like an auto dialogue. I don't know how we call it. But that's the case here. If I actually go to NPC, this is the idea about the dialogue trait. So it should have like an interactive dialogue. It's used for conversation between players and between player characters and non-player characters. Oh wow, it already. Yeah, there is no interactive dialogue for this. It's like this, right? Good point. Actually, need to check 1 second. Alright, sounds good. All good. Oh, I'm still in the dialogue. Okay, I'm done. Goodbye. And I'm stopping the sandbox. So that's the idea here actually. And I don't know what happens. No definition. Dialogue. Okay, let's get it. Okay, I guess it's just bad. How is this done? Like this? Nice. Good. Is interactive dialogue It's like a dialogue trait, so you should have both. So like it's rather a has interactive dialogue, to be honest. And then there's like is it like an auto dialogue, or it's something if the NPC is just idling? It's like an idle dialogue, is it? Yeah, why not? So it's like an idle dialogue, and after a certain time idling, he picks something to say from the dialogue. That's good. That's actually a good idea. It's tricky. The question is, could they actually like say a whole story in, I don't know, you have 3 options in the dialogue, or just 2 or 3, it's fine. And each option actually has like a path to go down. So could he like start telling story 1, like chapter A, B, C, D, and then story 2, A, B, C, D, and so on. So that would actually be really nice. I think that's something I would like to have. So it should be an idle dialogue. Log is automatically started after a given idle dialogue timeout is reached and will continue the last invoked idle dialogue. I think we should omit empty. It also needs bees and stuff and all this shit, so this is like far from done. And should also be fine, to be honest, if I do like funk. This one has idle dialogue, so this is good. Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, if that's actually sort of help creating these functions, but it's fine. So that's actually a really nice idea. I think that I like. So an NPC can have an interactive dialogue. It's like invoked. This dialogue is invoked by a player using the talk to command. With the NPC name. That's actually nice. I think I like the idea. So you can just reuse the same dialogue stuff over and over again. I could also use it for like some automated text on an item. I'm not sure yet. Let's see. Still not sure about the text options text. I guess, to be honest, if it's like an automatically run dialogue, I think this is what I want to tackle next. It's like you have a text that starts and then you always have answers. So the answer just runs from there, basically. I guess that's the case. I feel that the code should actually already work in a similar way. So let's try this one. So actually we could just do like another into file. Is this the idle dialog? Old town guard, idle dialog, I don't know. Something like this, and then it's the idle dialog. Create idle dialog. And then of course you should be like should just be like this. just like idle dialog. It could be the same state. I'm not sure. It should be great. Oh shit! What happened? Come on, source action. Come on. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Func create idle dialog. Yikes. Yikes, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? How did it create this? Oh man. Yeah, anyway, I'm just creating one from scratch, so return the, is this one, the dialog idle, this is okay. How is this? It's actually nice. So if the dialog could actually have like a dynamic component that actually is could be a function. That's actually a nice idea. It's a really good idea. So the state should have functions as well. Damn it. It's actually fucking incredible. That's really good. So the tones could actually scream like the tone. Alright, getting already late, so actually we'll most likely finish off here today. Might continue on Sunday, let's see. Tomorrow I'm actually gone, so I'm not sure about tomorrow night. So throughout Sunday, most likely I can stream a bit more. I have a feeling this dialog stuff is getting really good, and if I actually get it into the MUD code, so you can interact with an NPC, I think at that point the game has a lot to offer in terms of you can create with the engine we have. Then you can create some cool interaction stuff. I think that might be a good milestone, to be honest. I don't know. I know there's no player progression. There's no enemies or fighting. There's no item collection. I think the item collection is actually the next thing that I want to pick up afterwards, and then probably get back to scripting again. I started scripting at some point, and it's super essential, to be honest, have scripting. But I think stuff like this should not be based on a script, most likely. I don't want to write like dialogues with a script. So I feel like this is like the right abstraction to write a dialogue for an NPC. So that's good. Yeah. I actually feel like we should have function calls here as well. We should have function calls. Yeah. When I'm doing this, I'm doing function calls here. I think, is this working? Yeah, should be. I guess, I don't know. I need to check it out. Anyway, let's keep on building. I think it was a good session today. I'm really happy once all of this is like added there. And I think, to be honest, before actually going into much further feature development, I try to get some more story in, like improve Old Town a bit, add some NPCs, some random stuff to discover, just some fancy things, so you can actually enjoy visiting it once, like having a look at it. It's a good demo for the project, think that's a good milestone. And then actually I still want to have kind of a bit of a focus of infrastructure as well. So it currently runs on a root server, which is fine from a pricing perspective, but I really am having troubles with the root servers from time to time. It's like rebooting, you need to do maintenance on it, like install a new Linux system and so on, so update Ubuntu. It does work, and I have Watchtower and everything working to automatically run the latest Docker image once it's built and it works. But I still feel I would love to have something like Heroku, something like App Engine, or very basic Kubernetes setup that just runs the code and is there all the time. If it costs like €1 or €2 more, I'm not sure. Let's see. But I feel like I want to have like an always running version, a demo version of it, and people could just play around, get in there, create some rooms, change some rooms. I don't really care. I still have like copies of it, which is fine. And the main copy I have of it is of course locally. So I mean, that's the idea at some point, that people actually fork the content and just create a new server with it and go from there. That's the main idea behind TalesMUD. All right, with that, it's 2 past midnight. Let's actually stop the stream for today. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time. Stay safe.